huge explosion at a hospital in Gaza killed 500 people. Yet nobody knows which side did it, Israel or Hamas. Both are blaming each other. On the whole story today, let's understand why this attack on a hospital is an unforgivable war crime, what the victims and eyewitnesses are saying, and what the situation of Gaza hospitals is as we speak. The hospital we are talking about is the Al Ahli Arab Hospital in Gaza City, where displaced civilians were reportedly seeking shelter after Israel's order to evacuate to the south.
داري جنب المستشفى وديت الولد لمرتي قلت لها على الجي رجعت هذا على المستشفى اطفال صغار رايحه رجليهم بيسعقوا علي عمو ارفعني عمو قلت لهم هاي جاي ناس عفا صرت ارفع وارمي جنب الحيط برا.
كيف صار الاشي فجأة؟
الناس قاعده اللي بيعمل شاي اللي بيعمل قهوه الناس بتطلع بعض منطقه امنه مستشفى.
The hospital was operational with patients, healthcare providers and caregivers. It was one of the 20 hospitals in the north of the Gaza Strip facing evacuation orders. Let's listen in to the doctors of that hospital narrate their ordeal.
There was no warning before the hospital was targeted. There were about 3,000 people who were taking shelter at the hospital. While we were working at the hospital, and without any warning, at around 6:30 p.m., the hospital was targeted by shelling. We didn't know what it was, but we found out what it could do after it targeted children and cut them into pieces.
الحقيقة أنا سأوصف ما حدث وما شاهدت أنا بنفسي. إحنا كنا في قسم العمليات نجري بعض العمليات. أنا التو عملية جراحية وكنت يعني بحاخذ ريست على أساس أبدأ أدخل العملية اللي بعدها. فجأة سمعنا صوت انفجار كبير جدا. في البداية ظننا أنه أحد الانفجارات اللي بنسمعها طول الوقت. لم نظن أنه في المستشفى. دخل الناس إلى قسم العمليات تصرخ وتولول الحقونا في جرحى في قتلى في المستشفى. خرجنا فكانت المفاجأة الصادمة للجميع أن المستشفى ممتلئ بالقتلى والجرحى والناس المقطعة والناس تبكي والناس تولول. حاولنا أن نسعى من يمكن إسعافه لأنه العدد كان أكبر بكثير من أن يقوم طاقم المستشفى المحدود بإسعاف الناس. استشهد كثير بعد أن كانوا أحياء لأنه شاهدناهم أحياء تنفسوا لكن لم نستطع عمل شيء لهم. استشهدوا بين أيدينا وشاهدناهم.
Palestinian officials say the blast was caused by an Israeli airstrike. But the Israeli military says it was the result of a failed rocket launch by a terror group called Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Now, the situation in Gaza's hospitals is dire. According to the United Nations, there have been over 115 attacks on healthcare facilities across Palestine since Israel's retaliatory strikes in response to Hamas's terror attack. Of these, 51 occurred in the Gaza Strip, with 15 healthcare workers killed and 27 injured. The remaining incidents took place in the West Bank. Gaza has a population of more than 2 million. Over 3,300 people have been killed in these attacks so far, and the crisis has displaced some 600,000 people. Many have sought safety in schools and hospitals that are already overwhelmed with rising casualties and deaths. Food, water, critical medicines and health supplies are running out because of Israel's blockade. Out of 35 hospitals there, 4 are not functioning due to severe damage and some have no electricity. The fuel for the hospital's generators would run out within hours, forcing a complete shutdown unless supplies enter the Gaza Strip. All hospitals, especially the largest ones, are running short on essential supplies and medicines. Blood banks only have a week of supply left. Ambulances are few. Beds are running out. Even surgeries are being performed on hospital floors, often without anesthesia. Moreover, the health workers in Gaza are living in a dilemma of caring for their patients or fleeing to save their own lives. According to the law of war by the International Criminal Court, hospitals and all medical personnel are protected in times of conflict. War crimes like attacks on civilians, civilian settlements, or humanitarian workers, destroying property where military is not necessary, sexual violence, and unlawful deportation are illegal. Attacks on schools and hospitals during conflict are one of the 6 grave violations identified and condemned by the UN Security Council.